Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right. Get more information at therealretireesofnewjersey.com. They never throw the first punch, but they're always a knockout.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. But most importantly, thanks for listening. This is the Real Retirees of New Jersey podcast with Peggy and Randy Fisher. It's all powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. You can get more when you visit therealretireesofnewjersey.com. You can find that and all the information here in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. For those that are maybe new to Randy and Peggy Fisher, let's just start from the beginning. Small business owners, helping family with their retirement plans, but you're also a happily married couple. Now,
is that true?
Of 27 years, Marcus. 27, all happily married
What
years.
day is it?
do I put an asterisk by there?
Yeah, you may want to put a little asterisk there. Depends on what day and time it is.
What's your favorite saying, Randy? Happy?
Happy wife, happy life.
There you go.
I have that tattooed on my rear end.
Randy, don't feel bad. I wear the pants in my family.
Yeah.
When my wife lets me. But listen. So talk to me about that for a second here. Can you leave work at the office, or is it always with you? Are you always talking about the families you serve?
Well, I like to say, sometimes it can be challenging. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
But then I always think to myself, I can come to a place every day where we are the owners of our business and we can achieve success together, where some married couples can't do that, right? Don't you agree with that, Randy?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a choice. I have to agree.
See how that worked, Mark?
Yeah, that was good.
And every guy listening to this is going, I know exactly what's about to come out of his mouth.
No, at the same time, I say there are times too where I have a door where if he gets on my nerves, bye, Randy.
Yeah, she just leaves. That's why we always two cars to work.
It's never one car to work. Always two cars. So if one wants to leave, and they can at any time,
Well,
then
it's
they
also
will.
because I get here at the crack of dawn. So.
Where it's actually quiet for a couple hours.
That's true.
Well, listen, I'm smart. I leave the house early because she's got to do all the stuff at the house.
I do the household
get the
chores
hell out
in the
of there.
morning. He just takes the shower and out the door we go.
I'm out the door and I'm at work. I got to do what I got to do, calling people back and researching and stuff like that. So
I love that. So what's the biggest challenge that you run into? Is it you like this strategy, but Peggy likes this strategy, and how do we get on the same page? What are the challenges?
Well, we do differ in things like that. Like Randy is very good. He does, a lot of the math kind of things, where I'm more of the person who loves to deal with the clients, in and out, love to talk with them, in fact, whenever we start one of our meetings, Randy won't come in for like the first 10 minutes because he knows that I'll have like a nice conversation with our clients for a good
cookies, coffee,
getting to know what's going on. And like Randy always says, it amazes me how in like 10 minutes, I'll know everything about everything in the family. So when he comes in, I'm like, did you know that,
It's not to say I don't like to talk about that. I just don't get an edge in, word in edgewise. So it doesn't really make a difference. And I can hear from I can hear from the conference room to my office. So I'm kind of catching up at the same time without actually even being involved. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, then define it for me. What is the difference? Because you're going to hear us say Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. It's almost two companies, but under the same umbrella, run by Randy and Peggy Fisher. What is the difference?
Artemis Wealth Advisors is essentially the wealth division. So we're doing the stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, taxes, financial planning, all those different types of strategies that go along with the full-fledged financial plan, right?
And then Liberty Financial Group is the insurance side. So I do the annuity service, the life insurance. I'm also deal with home, auto. We're a small boutique firm, but we can help everybody with all the things that they're going to need help with.
If I come to Artemis Wealth Advisors, get some financial planning done, can I also work with Liberty Financial Group to work on some auto insurance?
Randy and I, when you come into our office, we do almost every single appointment together. So if someone comes in, both Randy and I, as we're sitting behind the desk there, we can get a handle on anything that's going on for somebody. That way we both hear. And if one of us isn't here for that, the other one could definitely help out when they, if they weren't here, they could definitely help out on either side.
Somebody schedules that initial consultation, Randy. And what do you still find to this day the number one fear for adults as they approach retirement?
They get shackled to the chair. No,
Crazy.
I'm only kidding.
Can't leave.
Oh, hopefully somebody didn't crash their car on that one. I'm only joking. No, the number one fear 99.9% of the time when we're getting together with people that are either retired or just entering retirement is running out of money.
Yes.
Let's be frank. I mean, everybody wants to know, are they going to make it? Do they have enough and all that good stuff? And we can tell you literally 3 decades of stories in which that go with every single one of those fears. But the number one fear that literally is out there is running out of money. And one of the biggest concerns that people really have with running out of money, obviously, is not having enough. That's easy. That's like a no kidding. Mm-hmm. But it's the transitioning from going to work and getting a paycheck to literally getting a paycheck that you create on your own, right? And a lot of times we ask people, do you still want a paycheck like a salary, or do you want to work on commission? And they look at us like that we have 3 heads, and they're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I don't want to work on commission. For 99% of the public that's never worked on commission, commission's like a bad word to them, right? Mm-hmm. But when we explain, if you decide to build your income plan off of the stock market and off of a portfolio, that's like living on commission, because some days are going to be really good and other days are going to be really bad. And then you're going to have to make a decision. Do I do the extracurricular activities when the market's going down and take money out and chance it? Or do I actually not take anything out of the market when it's going down, right? Most people want a steady paycheck. Yeah. They want that pension type of atmosphere. That's the attractiveness to a Social Security or a defined pension plan. We build personal pension plans in addition to the other guaranteed income in which they have coming in. And then everything else is discretionary for rainy day. We call it the difference between paychecks and playchecks.
That's right.
We take a mathematical, methodical, non-emotional approach to your investing.
Exactly.
And that includes all sources. In a lot of our workshops and our educational programs, we always tell people, listen, everybody eats. If I put a bowl of soup in front of you and I gave you 2 tools, a spoon or a fork, 100% of the people are going to pick up a spoon instead of a fork, yes, unless you want to starve yourself, because it's the best, most efficient tool possible. It also doesn't make sense to say that the fork is a terrible tool. It's a great tool.
Yeah, but you're just not using it for the job. That's right. Exactly.
You're just not using it for the right reason. Financial tools are the same thing. If you neglect to use the financial tool that actually meets the need in the correct manner, you're likely to get a wrong result. Thus, you're probably going to badmouth that position, right? I don't like variable annuities. I don't like mutual funds. I don't like annuities. I don't like this, that, the next thing, whatever it may be. It's because it was probably presented wrong and used incorrectly in their past experiences.
That's right. Or someone might just had a bad, taste in their mouth about a certain thing because they heard it from someone else. We always hear from clients, well, I heard from my boss's brother or sister at a barbecue. He said annuities are terrible. We start laughing.
Yeah.
So tell us the expert. What did he tell you about how bad the annuities were? It's always somebody like that.
Susie
funny.
told me to invest in stuffed animals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait, tell me more about stuffed animals. Is that something we should be looking at? 908-844-8337. Again, 908-844-8337 to reach out to Peggy, Randy Fisher, and the team at the Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. And I talk about team, but it's YouTube. It's this boutique firm. Do you find that a lot of people come to you and they're looking for that second opinion and they realize, man, I'm much more relaxed here. I'm not a number. I don't have to drive and park and go up 15 floors and I'm, have to go to the big city. Like, do people really enjoy the smaller feel and the service you can provide?
Yeah, we just had it's funny that you say that, Mark. Our last client said that. They had, I think it was one of the banks, PNC Bank or something like that. I said, I have to call on the phone. I have to wait on hold. I don't know who I'm talking to. I love coming to your office. I sit down. I have a cup of coffee. It's cozy in here. I look at your fish in your fish tank. I see all your things on your walls. And I know that I can just drive down the road any time of the day, walk into your office and talk to either one of you. I'm not talking to a stranger. We hear that all the time.
We have clients that literally stop by on a weekly basis sometimes, out of the blue, and just say, hey, you around?
Yep.
Yeah, what do you
Come
need?
on in.
I just
Exactly,
wanted to have
yep.
a cup of coffee.
Yep.
You know, so Peggy hooks them up with their nice little cup of coffee in the conference room with their little whipped cream and cookies and everything else that they got.
Listen, hey, Randy, listen, man, listen. The kids are home from college. My wife's driving me crazy. Let me just sit in your office, your conference room for a minute and play on my phone. I just need to get away for a while. This is my safe space. If y'all don't mind if I hang out for
We said go ahead.
We got clients that come in. One of them sits on a couch and watches TV while the other one's in the conference room. So, it doesn't really make a difference. It does have that homey feel, which that's what we're looking for.
We have a beautiful fish tank in our office that I'll put a plug into my son right now. My son owns a fish store. We have a beautiful fish tank, and it's so relaxing. So you come sit on the couch, you watch the fish, you have a cookie.
Wait, so it's a Liberty Financial Group and Lounge is what it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a Starbucks.
Yep.
908-844-8337. Where are you located? We've probably driven by it a million times. Where can we find you?
You can find us at 361 Route 31, and that's in Flemington, New Jersey.
Give me some landmarks around there. What would we be looking for if we just want to stop in?
We would be looking for, everybody
The first
knows.
brown cow on the right.
Yeah, yeah, that is Hunterdon County for you. Horse farm. No, our big landmarks would definitely be the Hunterdon Medical Hospital. We're just past that, about a mile
Costco's,
down.
BJ's. Used to be the Flemington racetrack.
Flemington department store. That's a big place here in Flemington. We're just past that a mile.
Excellent. And of course, therealretireesofnewjersey.com. Again, therealretireesofnewjersey.com to get more information. You can also get the exact location when you're ready to take advantage of that no cost, no obligation retirement roadmap. Let's talk about that for a second here. So if you've saved at least $250,000 or more for your retirement, that can be spread across a 401k, a pension, an IRA, a TSP. They want to sit down with you and really start digging into your plan. And they're not miracle workers. They would love to help everybody in the community. But the reality is, you need to have some savings. You need to have a 401k. That's really where they can start building upon the gains and start customizing that retirement portfolio. All right, so we come in, Randy, we schedule that retirement roadmap. We have a good savings. We're ready to get serious. What does that very first appointment look like? What do I need to bring? What can I expect?
Bring everything and anything you'd like. Mm-hmm. The more, the merrier, the better. We have people that literally walk in the door with giant shopping bags of papers.
We do, Mark.
And I'm not
throw
kidding.
it on the table.
I'm not kidding you. And we have other people who come in with beautiful binders that either were created by someplace else or they created it themselves, or they walk in the door with their computer and they jump up their laptop and they log on to our Wi-Fi and they bring up their spreadsheets and all that good stuff. What we do is we basically take down tons of information from you, what you have, and we ask you lots of questions.
What we'd like to talk about, Mark, is what are your fears? What are your objectives?
Time horizons. What's about what do you like to do?
Taxes.
What's your family about? A lot of people here we're in New Jersey, predominantly. Most of the clients that we actually do business with never retire in New Jersey. We have clients all over the place.
What do you mean by that? They never retire?
Well, that's a whole different story. Yeah. Some people are not retiring anymore. They're just changing careers. But a lot of people are moving from New Jersey to a different state, whether it be in your neck of the woods, down in Georgia, South Carolina, Texas, Hawaii, Italy, Malta, all these different places that they'd like to live. Sky's the limit these days with the global economies, and people can jump on airplanes. Health insurance is one of the biggest things that people really need to deal with when they're actually in a different country or retiring. So that is one of the big discussions, one of the big talking points in which we have. Obviously, income, it's all built around income, right? And we have a saying, income is the income.
Is the outcome that matters the most. That's
you took it right out of my mouth.
That is, Randy. That's it.
So,
right there.
Income is the outcome that matters most in retirement.
Absolutely.
Let's be quite frank. If you can go down to your mailbox or your bank account every month and know that there is a specific amount of money that's going to be deposited into there for you to do whatever you wanted to do to meet your basic needs and to discover, what you'd like to do during retirement through discretionary spending, travel, and everything else that you like to do. Income is the thing that's the most important, right? Mm-hmm. I could have $8 zillion in a bank account. That really doesn't matter to me unless I'm going to be able to potentially access it or use it, right? And the use of it is, what do people fear of? Fear of running out of it.
That's right.
So as long as they know that it's going to be able to be sustained throughout their lifetime, because most people are now living in a 2-person, 3-decade retirement, right? That's a big change from the past, as well as most people don't have a bona fide guaranteed pension plan anymore. Social Security is the bedrock of their income. Everything else then is built off of a 401k, 403b, whatever savings that they have. Maybe some people have real estate. All those things are taken into consideration. But as I mentioned earlier, do you want to live on commission or do you want to live on a salary?
Right.
Do you want to live on a paycheck or do you want to live on a paycheck?
That's right.
Those are the plans in which we put together. When you bring in all your information, we take all the pieces of the puzzle and we put it into a roadmap that basically shows you where you are and then potentially where you want to be. Our job is to show you how to get there.
That's right. And we will do a nice review for the person who comes in, and we'll gather all the information we can. So for our second appointment, when we see them, we'll have a nice little plan all set and ready for them that, hopefully that they'll like.
Second appointment is usually eye-opening because what it does there, Mark, is it gives them a sense of, wow, this is actually what I have.
That's right.
And a lot of people kind of figure what they have, but they don't know exactly what they have, right? And here's the other good thing about appointment number 2. Appointment 2 is the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that's when the rubber meets the road. That's when people finally go, all right,
we got to do something.
It's like when I go to the doctor's office, the first thing I don't want to hear is, how fat I am and how many pounds I got to lose or what I've been eating or what I'm not supposed to be eating. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to tell you that's the same way for our appointment number 2, but you get that kind of feeling of, all right, now I've got a professional that basically has crunched some of my numbers. They've gone through my stuff. Yeah, I'm sitting here naked. Go ahead. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
We give the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, understand this, ladies and gentlemen, not everybody has stuff that's really good, and everybody doesn't have everything that's 100% totally awful.
Right.
It's a matter of keeping the stuff that's good, building around that, and then putting the better pieces of the puzzle in place in order for you to meet your desired location.
Right.
Do you want to retire now? Do you want to retire in 5 years, 10 years? Do you never want to retire? All of those things are taken into consideration, as well as legacy, mortality, what's your health like, a whole bunch of different stuff. What do you like to do? If you're the person or the couple that loves to travel and jet set around the world and you want to spend time with your grandchildren or doing everything else you like, you're going to need some funds for those things. We want to make sure that the amounts of money in which you have are protected, minimal risk, minimal fees, maximum return. Those are the things that we basically take in, and we can tweak those portfolios tremendously with all the tools that are available to us.
That's right.
Okay, you talk about the first appointment, the second appointment, but that first appointment, you're not required to become a client.
That's so true, Mark. But a lot of times we do find that we'll see somebody for the second appointment.
Yep.
But like you said, it is all on personality too, and how well do you gel with somebody. Like I said, when they come into our office, it's very cozy. It's very family oriented too. I'm a hugger. Usually by the end of the appointment, we're hugging with our, soon to be clients, right, Rand?
Sure.
he laughs.
Nice big Jersey hug.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get the sense that Peggy's got a soul-inducing hug.
Yes.
And Randy, I'm bringing it, man. Let's go. Randy's like, come on.
I mean, you know what it is? And not everybody, like I mentioned earlier, it's a personality industry.
Yeah.
People are going to do business with people that they like.
That's right.
Right. And if you get a warm and fuzzy feeling, then jump on in.
Yeah.
From a professional standpoint, I think there's a lot of great people that are out in our industry.
Yes.
I also think that there's a lot of really terrible people in our industry. I have to say that and take it with a grain of salt. A lot of people get bad information. We've been told by, dozens and dozens and dozens of our clients that we are basically disaster recovery specialists. And we joke at that. And for the first time I ever heard it, I'm like, what do you And they're like, listen, you took a disastrous situation and you made it better. You've picked up my pieces from me getting bad advice or being in a bad tool for way too long.
Oh, we've had clients who would sit across from us at our desk crying, right, Rand?
Yes.
Crying.
That's 100%
you
literal.
Actually told me that I don't have to do this, or I can make this change. I can make this better for myself, or retire. Oh, that's the biggest one.
How often does that happen?
A lot.
Yes.
I love that.
And believe it or not, there's a lot of people that they want to hear that, but they don't believe it.
Right.
There are times, some of the best exchanges that we've ever had, which is the most enjoyable, is where someone is so surprised at the results of what we can do for them.
Right.
And it hits home so hard. Like Peggy said, they're literally sitting there crying. Yeah. Literally crying in the office.
I can retire.
I can do this now.
Yes,
I can go spend time with such and such, and I can go travel and see my grandkids in a different state. And we basically take this, I really mean this, a holistic approach to everything associated with financial services. There are times where we look through a tax viewpoint, and by minimizing taxes increases the amount of money in which you're going to be able to retain and take home, which offsets inflation. We haven't even talked about that. That'll be another contest.
Yeah.
But all those things where it's the purchasing power of what you keep is more important than what you make.
Right.
Just those little tweaks in somebody's portfolio or cash flow adjustment makes the big difference between retiring today or potentially retiring in a few years from now.
Or just letting people know that there are certain tools that can be used.
Social Security is one of them. I mean, one of the biggest ones. We won't bring up her name, but she sat in our conference room, and next thing I know, the phone was ringing. And what did she say? Who was calling her?
Oh, in Florida. What is it? What's that community in Florida?
The Villages.
The Villages. She literally flies open the door, says, they want me. I said, who wants you? She goes, the Villages. I'm in.
You need to find me a way to retire. So, and she was actually a more recent client at that moment.
Yes.
And we were going through and we started asking more questions. And this was actually, I think, 2 or 3 appointments in.
Yeah.
And we said to her, by the way, I know you're divorced, but how long were you married?
Oh, this was great. Yeah.
And she says, I don't know, 12, 13 years to this, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was good. It was very animated. I loved it.
And we said to her, well, he's a lot older than you and you're already full retirement age. Do you know you can take half of his Social Security benefits?
She said no.
She said, no way. She goes, let's do it right now. And he's going to get it paid for.
Yes.
And I said, listen, that's not the way it works, but you can take half of it. And believe it or not, throughout over our planning, just that tweak for her to be able to collect half of his Social Security
got her to the Villages
earlier, literally got her to retirement.
Yep.
I love that.
And it's such a small tweak, but it made a difference of about $750 more a month for her, which made a big difference. Plus a couple other little things that we did on the side there. But it was just that little planning mechanism, which I don't want to beat up the brokerage houses that are out there, but they hide behind 2 disclosures, right? They don't give tax advice and they don't give Social Security planning advice. Go to every major brokerage account that's out there. Been there, done that. That's why we're not there anymore. That's why instead of being in Wall Street, we're on Main Street.
That's right.
We give Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid planning advice. We give tax advice.
Right.
Go find an advisor that's going to stand out there like a peacock and say, we give this advice and you can stand behind our opinion and our recommendations. We deal with enrolled IRS agents every single solitary day where we actually bounce your information off them as part of our team. We make sure that we're not going to hurt you from a tax standpoint when we make a recommendation.
That's right.
And we're not going to hide behind a disclosure because the only thing we want is your money. We don't want your money. We want your business for the long term, for you to become a family member of our firms for the long haul.
That's right.
You want to help build that paycheck, but more importantly, that playcheck. And that's what you did for that young lady now down in the Villages. I hope that she is living her best life.
She is living her best life. She'll send us stuff. She'll send us emails. She'll send us pictures.
I love it. We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189-42003 and 570-5833.